I'm all about encouraging people to build a small property portfolio and simply live off the rental income, like Liana and I do. But the truth is, there are some really bad property investments out there that you just should not be buying. So let me share 9 different types of property investments that you just need to avoid. And by the way, stay tuned until the end because in one sentence, I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be buying. So, first things first, I would consider a bad property investment to be one that permanently traps my cash in the deal and only gives me a low return on investment. And by my cash, I mean both my deposit and my refurb costs. You should be doing deals where you can put your money in and then 6 to 12 months later you can pull all or most of your cash back out of the deal. But if you're doing a deal where your money is going to be trapped, then honestly, it needs to be earning you a really, really great return on investment, especially if your money is going to be locked in there for years and years and years. And if you want a quick video on how to calculate return on investment, click on the link in the description box below. There's a 2-minute video there that will tell you exactly how to do that. A bad property investment is a property with a problem that you can't fix. I went out to go and see a property quite recently and it was a really good price. Got there. I couldn't really miss it as I drove up, if I'm being honest with you. What the problem was, that is, because in the next door field there was a pylon, literally almost against the side of the house, that was humming away. And apparently it hums away 24 hours a day. Now, that is a problem that you can't fix. Or maybe it's in a bad neighbourhood where you can't fix that problem, can you? But if it's a smelly house, you can fix that. Or if it's got a short lease, for example, if it's a flat, you can fix that. And by the way, you should be looking for properties that have got problems. That's where you're going to get the very best deals. They just need to be problems that you can fix. A bad property investment is one that gives you a low or even no positive cash flow after you've paid all the bills. I still don't understand why people do this. I don't understand why they buy a property that doesn't put cash in their pocket. Every property you buy must put money in your pocket every single month, in my opinion. Otherwise, you shouldn't be buying it. A bad property investment is where you're speculating solely on the long-term growth. That's the reason you're buying it, because you think that over the long term it will go up in value. Will it? Of course, over the very long term, yes, it's likely to go up in value. Of course it is, but there's absolutely no guarantees. And different parts of the country will rise at different rates anyway. And it should be putting money in your pocket from day one. A bad property investment is when you're buying in a declining area. Now, very importantly, I'm talking about buying in a declining area. I am not talking about buying an area that's maybe got a bit of a bad reputation. It's not been great for years and years and years, and it now sits right up against a really, really good area, because they could be the perfect places to buy. And in fact, in Bristol, there's several of these that I'm currently looking at. Areas that are maybe currently not great. They've currently got a bit of a poor reputation, but they're really up against an area that's got an exceptional reputation. They're great places to look. It's areas that are in decline. So how on earth do we determine an area that's in decline? Well, there are going to be key indicators, things like rising unemployment, or maybe a major employer is just about to leave the area. Obviously, rising crime statistics are going to be a major red flags, and you can, of course, check these all out online. Are there new charity, betting, pound shops opening up? Does the area just kind of feel like it's sliding downhill? And if you live in the area, you're biased. So maybe ask somebody who doesn't live in the area, and don't make that a family member, because they're never going to criticise where you live. Or check them out online in streetcheck.co.uk. This is a great little website, and it will give you a really good insight into what is good and bad in your area, including things like demographics, crime rate, etc. Really worth checking that website out. I think a poor property investment, not a bad one, but a poor one, is where you can't add any genuine value. Now, by genuine value, I don't mean a lick of paint and a new kitchen. I'm talking about adding massive value in some way, and I talk about this on my channel all the time. So a few more specific ones related to flats now. So the first of these is, I think a bad property investment with a flat is a flat that doesn't have a sinking fund. This is so important. In case you're not aware, when you buy a flat, you're generally going to be paying a service charge each month. And of course, a percentage of that goes to the general maintenance and upkeep and a bit of insurance as well. That's what that's paid for. but a percentage of it should be going into a sinking fund each month. And then over a period of time, this sinking fund builds up. And so when you have major expenses like redecorating the outside of the building or a new roof, the money comes out of the sinking fund rather than the management agent going to the leaseholders with cap in hand and saying, you owe us 10 grand as your share towards the roof. I think a bad property investment is one that actually doesn't have a management company. Sadly, there are too many of these out there, too many flats that don't have a management company, and they're going to rely on the leaseholders to kind of have a chat and sort out the bills. But pretty obviously, that's where all the big headaches and problems come. You should be buying flats that have a management company in place, and you can check these out online. And lastly, I think you need to make sure that you avoid any flats that have a defective lease. This is your solicitor's job. They'll go through the lease with a fine-tooth comb and tell you absolutely whether this is indeed a sound lease or whether it has any aspect of defect. And so what type of property investments should you be buying, and how can I sum this up in one sentence? Well, you need to buy the exact opposite of what I've shared with you today. So you're going to be looking for places where you can pull your money back out in 6 to 12 months. Properties where there is a problem that you can fix and then negotiate a fantastic price on that property. Places that do give amazing cash flow and are in rising areas. Properties where you can add massive value in some way. And personally, if I'm being really, really honest with you, apart from maybe one or two strategies, I personally would steer clear of flats completely. Just my view. If you have a different view, I'd really appreciate if you could comment on that below. So if you want a little bit more information on some more types of property investments that you simply should be avoiding, if you click the link here, it will run you through all the houses that I think you should be avoiding in a lot more detail. And if you click the link here, it will run you through the flats that I think you should be avoiding. I really hope you found this one video helpful. And if you did, be sure to click on the like button below.